What's up, everybody, and welcome once again to Tale of the Tape, brought to you by Gym Bag Entertainment. It's a show about combat sports by guys that love combat sports. Once again, it's your host, Craig, here with my co-host,
Mike Johnson,
yes,
the co-host with the most.
Absolutely. So we got a jam-packed show for you today, and we're going to jump right into it. UFC Vancouver 158, Cowboy Cerrone versus Gaethje. Saturday, September 14th at 8 p.m. It was at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, Canada. And it started off pretty good with a lightweight fight. Kyle Popolo, 12-6, going up against the 10-3 Austin Hubbard. How'd this fight go?
Pretty good. Popolo with a good first round, I thought. You know, mixed it up pretty good. Good striking. But then Hubbard came out second round, put the grappling on him, just took him down. And third round, more of the same. Interesting note, Hubbard ends up with the unanimous decision here. Took the second 2 rounds easy. Interesting note, he had an injury in his thigh, something with the muscle. I think they called it, I forget what they called it, something where the injury to the muscle makes a buildup of blood.
Yeah.
And he was in the elevator at the hotel and fainted. And they rushed him to the hospital. They had to cut open his leg big from like the knee all the way up to his hip, and drain a massive amount of blood out of it. It was compound something is what they called it. It's if you take damage to a muscle, that it could happen. And but they said he'll be out by the end of the week and should recover fine.
Wow.
Had to bleed his leg out.
Damn, well, that's a speedy recovery for Austin Hubbard.
Just thought it was crazy. Had to bring it up.
Wow, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then we had, in the bantamweight division, Louis Smolka, 15-6, going up against the 10-1 Ryan McDonald. How'd this fight go?
You went with McDonald on that record, but I knew Smolka had something for him.
Yeah.
And I knew he was going to be looking for a big showing. And that jab right off the bat was working for him, following it up with the right hand. And what was it, 4 minutes, 43 seconds of the first round, drops a right hand on him. Smolka with the big KO.
Wow. And I'm just realizing, and I wish I would have realized this yesterday, I did not watch the prelims.
No?
No.
Pretty good prelims here.
I'm a little, now that we're talking about it, I'm a little disappointed because I'm like, man, I don't remember these fights. In the featherweight division, Chaz Skelly, 17-4, going up against the 17-6 Jordan Griffin. How'd this one go?
Another good one. Decision for Skelly here. Back and forth. He wanted to grapple all night. I mean, that's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Constant pressure on Griffin, who, you know, once he landed a strike late in the first round, you understood why he wanted to do nothing but grapple, because Jordan Griffin got some hands.
Okay.
And it was interesting. Griffin, you know, he was just, Skelly was just smothering him, but Griffin takes his back. He ended up in the second round during the transition, and Skelly, like, did a perfect front flip while standing up with like dude on his back.
What?
To shake him off. It was pretty crazy.
Did it work?
Yeah, it was really impressive athletically.
Yeah.
You know, and ends up on Griffin's back late in the third. Skelly was gassed, just holding him, you know, and outpointed him. Did enough to win, you know.
It is.
But good fight, definitely.
All right, I'm gonna have to go back and watch these ones. They sound like they were some good fights.
Yeah.
In the bantamweight division, this is that was actually the last fight of the early prelims. This is the beginning of the prelims. We have in the bantamweight division Brad Katona, 8-1, going up against the undefeated 7-0 Hunter Azuri.
Yeah, Azure, I believe. Hunter Azure. He was making his debut here. Katona tried, again, nothing but grappling for this guy. Nothing but pressure against the fence. But Hunter Azure, with some good strikes, knocked him down twice. Katona, and Hunter Azure ends up with a good decision in his debut.
Nice. So he keeps that undefeated record.
Yep.
Guess we'll see him soon in the future. In the middleweight division, Andrew Sanchez, 11-4, going up against the 13-4-1 Marvin Vettori.
This one, I believe, got canceled.
This one got canceled.
Yeah.
Skirt.
Which I was a little upset about. I wanted to see Vettori fight.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of his. So
That's
hopefully we'll have him in the next card.
Do we know if there was a fill-in fight?
I don't believe so.
All right. So what they probably did was they probably elevated one of the early prelims into the regular prelims. That's usually what they do. So Cole Smith, undefeated 7-0, going up against the undefeated 9-0 Miles Johns.
You seen the 2 undefeated records, thought you were going to get another good one. This is least of the night.
Least of the night, undefeated records.
By far. Cole Smith just pushing him against the fence. I mean, plenty of times where I'm looking at the ref like, when are you going to separate him?
Wow.
Miles Johns even looking at the ref for a separation, like when he going to make this guy get off me. But to his credit, he couldn't get Cole Smith off him.
Yeah.
You know? Landed a couple good strikes late, did Miles John, and that's what I think got him the win. But pretty lackluster all around.
So Miles Johns gets the victory?
Decision for Miles Johns. I believe it was a split because it was pretty even.
Yeah.
Pretty even nothingness.
Just a lackluster performance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind when I watch it, see what I see. And then the heavyweight, the headline of the prelims, Marcin Tybura. 17-5, going up against 13-1-1, Augusto Sakai.
Yeah, they made up for the least of the night for sure.
Okay. Finished strong.
It was quick, but it was a big time win for Sakai. KO at 1 minute and 59 seconds into the fight.
Wow.
I mean, it was just hand speed right off the bat. Well, Tybura right off the bat actually landed a good body kick.
Yeah.
And then a good leg kick to follow it up, and was moving around well, and I was like, oh, this could be an interesting heavyweight fight. And then Sakai landed a jab, and then landed a right hand, and then landed a jab, and it was like Tybura had no answer, and he just kept throwing the right hand and clipped him on the temple, face down, out cold.
Oh, well, that's what I like to see. I like to see them cold knockouts.
Yeah, it was a cold one.
Wow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 4 for 6. I think that might be one of the best prelims I've
That was pretty good.
Yeah. All right, now we have in the main card the pay-per-view. No, my bad. It's not a pay-per-view.
No.
In the main card, we have light heavyweight Misha Cirkunov, 14-5, going up against the undefeated 10-0 Jimmy Crute. Let's talk about this one, because this was a good one.
Absolutely surprising
This is a real
one.
Extremely surprising.
You always think Jimmy Crute's going to work them power hands.
Yep.
But Misha knew that. You know, I didn't know much about Cirkunov coming into this fight.
I don't think either one of us knew anything about this guy.
Highly touted grappler.
Yeah.
Came in looking like a steel ball. I mean, he was ripped. He was like shredded.
Oh, yeah. And you know when you see
compared to
guys like
Crute.
that, man, you just think punch and power, not a lot of a gas tank.
Yeah, or, you know, when you hear the grappling background and you see the muscle development on a guy like that, then that's scary for, you know, the squeeze on the ground
Oh,
and that
God.
top control, you know, and that's exactly what it was. You know, once he gets his hands on you, it's tough. Poor scrambles by Jimmy Crute, too, though. I mean,
very sad.
He was just trying to swing, and he didn't like having the Misha's hands on him, I don't think. You know, I
he
think
did have
felt
some good striking exchanges and a little bit of ground and pound.
And I think it was more, you know, him trying wild stuff, you
Yep,
know?
yep.
Because
Desperation mode.
He felt that grappling strength, I think, and was like, nah, let me clip this guy before he grabs me again. It was actually, you know, what led to the finish there. Cirkunov was the one down on his back, and Crute, you know, just tried to swarm him, and, you know, Cirkunov with the nice little leg sweep with the ankle pick.
Yeah, it was
you know?
impressive. What I liked was that he reaches for the ankle, but uses his own knee inside Crute's knee as the leverage to get him to go to his back. And I think that leads us into something.
And then swarms right on top of him, and that leads to technique of the week for sure.
Yes.
Submission round 1, 3 minutes and 38 seconds with the Peruvian necktie. You barely ever see it. It's like a front-facing choke with
and
the
it's
arm
only ever
in.
happened once in the UFC.
Yeah, CB Dollaway, Ultimate Fighter alum way back. Yeah, it's a fun move.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something that you see normally, like seeing a twister, you
Yep.
know, or a scarf hold. But it's really impressive when you see it, and really embarrassing for the guy who gets submitted by it.
I almost want to
It's
say
not easy to apply. So
No.
So when you get tapped by something like that, you know, it's incredible. I seen him step over his head and set it immediately. I
Yes.
say, he's going for the necktie. You know, I said, oh, wow. Like, okay. And he got it
And
right away.
I remember seeing. I remember when I was looking at this submission, thinking like, what is this?
Yeah.
I've never seen this before. And is it too much to say? I'll let you call it. Not just technique of the week, technique of the month.
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing a lot of KOs,
Yeah,
so
you know,
I mean,
that in a
It's
death
gotta be up
position
there.
I feel like you have to like almost fall into that submission.
that, and we had a big middleweight who came in, I believe. He was a Brazilian fighter who steamrolled over another guy via submission, and I believe it was with a Darce choke, and it was pretty incredible. But seeing as I can't remember who that was,
And it was this month?
I think it might have been.
Oof.
But seeing as I can't remember, I'll have to give that to Serkinov because
mean,
that was really impressive. And I thought at first that he was setting up an anaconda choke, but when I seen him sit up and then throw the leg over his back, and I was like, wow, he's gonna necktie him. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, not only to get it into position, but lock it down and end it. I mean, Crute had no choice but to tap.
I think it benefits you with a weird submission sometimes, like, because at first he doesn't think that you're setting that up, because
Yeah.
who would assume that? You know, I think he thought he was releasing the Darce choke and going to stand up or try to take his back maybe, but he didn't release it. He just threw the feet over. And I mean, you pretty much, it's like an anaconda or a Darce choke or an arm triangle, you know, one arm sandwiching the blood while your arm is sandwiching the other side. But it's literally holding him in between your legs while you do it, like, you know,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
You're sitting on him.
It's a pretty embarrassing
You're sitting on
submission,
him
yeah.
while you're sitting on his face while you choke.
All right, so this was an exciting fight, and Misha Krukhanov is definitely a guy to look out for. Took away that O from Jimmy Crute, so that's impressive.
Jimmy Crute was on a tear, and it was a highly touted up-and-comer, so this is a big fight. Yeah.
This next fight was pretty cool. Middleweight division, the comeback of Uriah Hall, 14-9 against the 10-3, one no contest, Antonio Carlos Jr. Let's talk about that one.
Great fight, super entertaining. I wanted to get some of your take on it, honestly, because I thought we saw a good Uriah Hall.
We saw an excellent Uriah Hall. He was very good against the takedown. You know, Antonio Carlos Jr. is like a poor man's Damian Maia, you know. And when he gets his hands on you, it could be all over. And that's why I say poor man's, because it's not as guaranteed as it is with Damian Maia. And Uriah Hall had really good takedown defense. And when he got taken down, he defended the submission.
Right. Even in trouble spots, I mean, how long was he on his back?
On his back.
You know?
Just there, and what was impressive, the first time he got on his back standing up, I remember you calling for it, telling him exactly what he needed to do, and he does. He gets the arm over his head and then explodes into the spin. Extremely impressive. I saw a rejuvenated Uriah Hall. His striking was crisp. He was controlling the octagon, and he didn't have that fear. Like, it wasn't like he was fighting not to lose. In this fight, he was fighting to win, and I'm hoping we're seeing a resurgence in Uriah Hall.
Absolutely could be. He said it in the post-fight, you know, that he gets the nerves and that he's, you know, he is afraid every time when he comes out there, and, you know, he doesn't understand it so much, you know, but like he was, you know, very different, and a lot of time he's tentative.
Yes.
You know, I think he won pretty much one strike at a time. You know, he didn't put a lot of big combinations. We didn't see the overly flashy Uriah Hall.
Correct. Very much more disciplined.
I think the lack of strike production from Uriah Hall was more Antonio Carlos Jr. doing well. He did a great job trying to
Antonio
neutralize
Carlos Jr.
him.
held his own a lot better than it seemed like he was going to when the fight started.
I was very impressed because it started off hard. You know, he
Got
ate some
busted up
big
right
shots,
away.
got his nose broken real early, and continued that fight the whole time with the broken nose, and it didn't really slow him down.
Nope.
And I know that was real tough. He had some dominating positions, almost for the win. I mean,
Yep.
riding on his back. That body triangle on the back was sick, because even when Hall was ready to turn on him to go face up, he couldn't even turn just because of the pressure on his hips.
when they the one time he was on his back on the ground, you could see the desperation in Uriah
Yeah.
Hall's face. He could not. There was no possible maneuver that was going to allow him to reverse that position.
Yeah, and if he had messed up that wrist control at any second, he would have been
would have been
choked.
done.
So, you know, good fight for Antonio Carlos Jr.
And honestly,
still.
if you saw his face when his hand got raised, he was a little
he did look
surprised himself.
I don't remember if this was split or unanimous.
Oh, it was split.
Yeah.
It was definitely a split decision.
And I agree with that because
Yeah.
Antonio was good.
He was very, very good.
He was good.
Especially after losing his last fight.
Couldn't put his striking together all that well. You know, he's not the best striker, but he's got a pretty good jab. And I couldn't really find home for it. I think that's what gives Uriah Hall the win here. Because, like I said, nothing too flashy. One strike at a time. Good decision, though.
Great
Good
decision.
fight. Great fight overall.
All right. And what I would like to deem the main event of the evening that played a little earlier than the main event normally does. In the welterweight division, the ever so flashy Michel Pereira, 22-9 with 2 no contests, going up against the up-and-coming, the unforeseen, the new legend of the Octagon, 10-6, Tristan Connolly. And I know that you have been dying, heart
man.
racing to talk about this fight. Let's hear it.
Oh man, definitely the newly crowned Vancouver legend.
Yes.
I mean, hometown boy from Canada. Tristan Connolly gets called up. A week?
A week in advance.
He had a week.
I think he had 5 days.
5 days notice to fight one of the most devastating strikers in the UFC.
Yes.
So, you could do one of two things. You could go get your paycheck, take your beating, go home,
And know that you'll probably get a contract.
or put everything you got in trust in yourself and believe in yourself and try to win. And Michel Pereira, I think he's got some problems here in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
I think he's too big, or he's having a problem cutting weight because didn't weigh in at 170, came in at 172 and a half.
Yeah,
I think.
172 and a half, which is a whole pound and a half over the leeway.
Yeah, so, no good there. But comes out still trying to be flashy. He's got his choreographed dance on the way
Oh
to the
my God,
octagon
yes.
with his coaches there.
Backflip off the mat or whatever it was.
During the introduction, Bruce Buffer's introducing him. He's doing
windmill.
breakdancing moves on the ground. Like, he's asking for an injury.
Yep.
I don't know. He's pretty silly.
He's overly flashy.
He's trying to do moonsaults on his opponents and stomp you.
Yep.
Like,
I can appreciate his
flash.
showmanship. I can appreciate the showmanship
for sure.
more so during the fight. But if you're gonna be this flashy, if you're gonna have the showmanship,
you got to back it up.
got to build that gas tank, bro.
You got to back it up in
build
general.
the gas tank.
And Tristan Connolly came out with good fundamentals. Nothing serious. Good striking defense, good movement, good head movement, good footwork.
Good ground game.
Absolutely well-rounded ground game. I think he was definitely the better wrestler. Even did better in the scrambles, especially later as Michel's gas tank wore to nothing because
zero.
obviously the weight cut drained him to nothing.
I mean, because if you remember in the beginning, Connolly goes for a takedown and Michel just waves him off. Just get off me, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, it was also a bad shot at that
Yeah.
point. Connolly's nerves are getting the better of him. Definitely early, you could see that.
Oh yeah.
Pereira definitely landed a few strikes early. And while he was playing, But then gets taken down, gets beat on a bit, gets hit while standing up even, starts to realize what is happening to me. Second round, we see a different Michel Pereira.
Comes in for a little bit more focused.
He comes out and actually puts his skill together. And then wonders, why isn't that working? Because Tristan Connelly, his confidence grew over just the first round alone, and he said, I do deserve to be here. I do deserve to fight this guy.
And this guy ain't that good. This guy ain't that good.
You ain't so bad. What is the big hype about you? And came out in the second round wanting to prove a point and went for it. Everything. By the end of the third round, both men completely smoked, gassed out. But Conley never stopped coming forward, never stopped putting shots on him. He had to eat a few, but all in all, I think this is a handed unanimous decision for Tristan Connelly. I think he put a beating on Michel Pereira.
Without a doubt. I got to say, I've never been more impressed with a fighter who has come in on such short notice. This was his UFC debut.
And he's a natural lightweight.
Yep. So he comes in a weight class above, 5 days notice, against one of the flashiest high-level strikers in the UFC who's coming in to make quick work of him.
A very dangerous opponent.
Yep, very dangerous opponent. Wants to make quick work, get out of the octagon, get his paycheck, and move on to the next fighter. And Tristan Thompson said, not today, sir.
And not
today.
I mean, there's no way he had no game plan. I mean, he had 5 days notice.
Yep.
There was no specific training for Michel, so it was just fundamentals.
There's no way
good defense, and just came out with everything he had and went for it.
The game plan happened during the fight. This guy came at Tristan with everything he had, and Tristan endured the storm. He weathered the storm.
Said, hey, that ain't so bad.
And he was like, this guy ain't got nothing for me. I'm going to come in this next round, and I'm going to put work on him. And he absolutely put work on Michel. I mean, this dude was gassed. He's getting blown out. And you could see.
I mean, with the crucifix on the ground.
Oh, my God.
When he's landing shots on him,
I could not believe he put him in a crucifix position. I'm like, this kid has come out and has said, I'm not just here because it's short notice and I want a contract.
And
I'm here to win.
I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm not just a Canadian villain. That's what he decided.
I'm here to steal the show, and I will say.
And he did.
Tristan Connelly, sorry, I apologize profusely on that. Tristan Connelly, you stole the night.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see this guy fight in lightweight. Lightweights have it. He put it on a big welterweight. He's a lightweight who put work on a big welterweight. What is he going to do to the lightweight division?
While being in shape.
Yep.
And I mean, like I said, nothing too serious to stand out in his game, but the will, the heart, the confidence and belief in that really takes you to a different level.
Yep. It was like out of a movie. The good guy just endures the storm to overcome adversity and beat the bad guy.
Right, and you won just because you're the good guy.
Yep. And now all this hot air in Michel's balloon has just got deflated. And now he's going to have to come back. And he's going to need to prove himself that he even belongs here.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, he's put on notice now for the antics, for the playing around too much. Not making weight is a huge deal for me. I mean,
and Dana White as well. Right. Dana White hates men who can't
What makes you think you can't? What makes you think you can come into the octagon playing around when you couldn't even make weight? Yeah. I think, no.
It's terrible.
And great thing, Tristan Connelly with the great come up on this, gets fight of the night.
Yep.
And takes Michel Pereira's whole bonus purse.
Ooh.
He takes 20% of his pay regardless.
Yep.
And then they're both awarded with fight of the night for the back and forth performance, and he takes his whole $50,000. So
he gets
$100,000 win bonus for Tristan Connelly. Absolutely.
Congratulations, brother. You deserve that more than anybody else. So that was awesome. Now we move on to the heavyweight division. Todd Duffy, 9-3, going up against Jeff Hughes, 10-2. Let's talk about this one.
This is a weird one.
Yeah.
Pretty upsetting. I was excited to see Todd Duffy back. He hasn't been in the UFC in 4 years. Jeff Hughes, good fighter in the heavyweight division. They ended up calling it no contest, round 1, 4 minutes and 3 seconds, due to the eye poke, to Todd Duffy. I don't know.
I don't even want to talk about this.
I don't even know. Like
Todd Duffy
I think Jeff Hughes probably would have won. He was Todd Duffy was throwing some big shots, but I think he was gassing out already.
Yep.
He had no striking defense. I think Hughes was covering up better, even though Duffy was throwing power shots.
I honestly believe that Todd Duffy got rocked, and because he said,
so.
I need time, and I think he needed time to recover from the shot, and he used the eye poke to do it, and that makes him a punk in my eyes.
I think so too, especially when when the ref asked him if he could continue, and he said, "I see double." Even if you are, you don't tell the ref that.
No.
You don't want. That means
You're supposed to be a gladiator.
That means you don't want to fight.
Yep.
And then they called the doctor in, and he said the same thing to the doctor. You definitely don't say nothing like that to the doctor. I'm seeing double. Oh well, hit them both.
Yep.
What's your problem?
Hit both targets.
Right.
And actually, we had someone who was in the medical field and says that seeing double is not a cause of an eye poke; it's a cause of brain.
Right.
So he got rocked. He was seeing double, and he couldn't handle it.
Right. If you were seeing, if your vision was obstructed because you got your eye poked, that would clear up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe just be blurry from there. You would end up with blurred vision.
Yep.
From an eye poke, not seeing double.
Nope.
So and Hughes was landing counter punches to them big shots because Duffy was, throwing big strikes and not moving his head. I think Hughes would have won this, and I'm sad it was a no contest.
Absolutely. Boo, Todd Duffy.
Boo.
Boo.
Boo. Fight. Fight or don't fight.
Yeah, exactly. And in the light heavyweight?
Yes.
Light heavyweight division, Glover Teixeira, 29-7, going up against the 25-6 Nikita Krylov. Tell us about it.
Krylov, actually.
Krylov?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is a V. Krylov.
But this is an interesting fight.
This was a good fight, man.
I liked it quite a bit. You had lots of grappling.
And crazy back and forth.
Top level grappling. He had the near submission early Krylov on Teixeira, I believe it was,
Teixeira,
right?
Yeah.
And then back and forth all night. I mean, Glover Teixeira, I didn't see the number of submission attempts, but I mean, it had to be over 5.
This is one of the best Teixeiras I've seen in a while.
He's landed in the right hand at will.
Yep.
Krylov didn't really have an answer with the punches, but great kicking attack all night. I think even though Glover landed, the right hand pretty much at will, I think Nikita Krylov took the striking overall because of the distance and the range, and the kicks were phenomenal.
Yep.
And Glover over and over, like I said, with the submission attempts though, and takedowns and persistent, and also landing the right hand, ends up with the decision here. I'm not sure, was it unanimous or a split?
To be honest with you, I don't remember. I didn't actually remember who won this fight.
I think it was unanimous for Glover, and I think in his, I know it was Glover, but I think it was unanimous because I remember in the post-fight, I think he said that he thought it would have been a split because it was very back and forth.
Yeah, it was a very good back and forth.
Glover had the more signs of damage. Nikita looked fresh in the face at the end of the fight. So, yeah, it was a tough back and forth. Good win.
Good fight.
I didn't know much about Nikita Krylov, but I like his style.
Do now.
I liked his style quite a bit.
Yep.
And that was like the first time he even went to a decision in his career.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does have losses, I believe.
But never to a decision.
But never decision, yeah.
Okay. All right, and now we have the much anticipated main event of the evening in the lightweight division. Cowboy Donald Cerrone, 36-12 with 1 no contest, going up against the returning 20-2 Justin Gaethje. And what did we think about this fight?
Disappointing.
Yeah.
But not disappointing.
Yeah,
it's bittersweet.
okay, I get it. I get it. Yep.
It's a bittersweet. I think.
I was gonna say disappointing.
I rewatched our episode from last week, and I did call this for Cowboy after calling it for Gaethje originally.
Yes.
And then I think I do stuff like that. Like, I'll give my unbiased opinion But then in
But
the
then you
end,
go with your heart.
I'm like, I just go with my heart. And Donald been fighting so long, and I've loved him for so long. I mean, I've been a big fan of his.
It's hard to not root for Donald Cerrone.
I mean, I was a fan when he was fighting in the WEC before he even came into the UFC.
Oh, wow.
And he's got like the most fights in UFC
Yep.
history now. You know, like,
Yeah, most fights
all
in
the
UFC
records.
histories, most wins in UFC histories, and most knockouts in UFC histories.
Crazy.
Or finishes, not
Bad
knockouts.
matchup for him overall. You know, he's got that willingness to get hit, to get his attack off, and he didn't really use his range though. I mean, it was too quick.
Yeah.
We only had one round, not even. They felt each other out for a while at first.
But these guys are friends. They know each
Cowboy
other.
threw a bunch of kicks. But Justin Gaethje's right hand is as hard
devastating.
as it comes. I mean, it ain't easy to knock Cowboy out. That's crazy.
I mean, it's only the second time he's been knocked out in his career.
Right. I mean, it's hard to even hurt him.
I think that comes with time. You know, the longer you fight, the easier. I mean, granted, it's not an easy knockout. Justin Gaethje is just a hard
I don't
hitter.
want to take away
Yeah.
from Justin Gaethje's KO power because it is real and it is significant. Again, we didn't have to see him wrestle.
No.
So we still don't know.
We were hoping to see that, but
A little bit,
Yeah.
you know, but that's smart of him because, like I said, I think that it would have been bad on the ground for him with Cerrone's guard. It was smart to throw the power hands, and Cerrone got that big long style that Gaethje just had to get inside and got inside for the big right hand, drops him to his face. He gets up. Hits him with another right hand. The second one was
I mean, it
wicked
wasn't even really like a
devastating.
get up. It was just like a look up, like,
Yeah.
huh?
And then
Crack.
he falls face down again, and then the ref's not stopping it. He looks to the ref, you know, like you're gonna stop it, and ref still doesn't. He cracks him again, you know, and then the ref stops, and he screams at the ref. You see Gaethje, you know, his disappointment to have to hit him that much.
Yeah, he even said it. He goes, I didn't want to have to keep hitting my friend.
Yeah, like Cowboy is somebody else.
Yeah.
You know.
And I agree with Gaethje. I mean, he hit him once.
Absolutely.
He hit him
Everybody
once and
agrees
put him
with that.
down.
I hadn't noticed that ref before. Maybe he was, you know, territorial to Canada or something. But yeah, I didn't like that stoppage one bit.
Because I understand the middle two hits. Like he hits him, he looks at the ref, he hits him 2 more times. That should have been when the fight was stopped. He wasn't defending
The
himself.
second knockdown, I believe, you know, he goes completely limp and face down to the canvas. I mean, his hands stop him, but he's not there. I think you call it right there. So
Absolutely.
that's definitely late. And Cowboy with so much honor, though, like in so much grace. He doesn't care to lose and just wants to come back. And I think he'll still be relevant, you know, but I don't think he's going to get the title.
No.
You know, I think this really shows that he just can't break through the top.
He's definitely he's gonna become a hump fighter, a guy that you have to prove that you're ready, and you do that by fighting Cowboy.
I just hope he doesn't fight too long, into too old of an age to where he can't make it competitive. Because I would hate to see that.
I would too. I don't want to see him fighting up and comers and just getting beat left and right. And watching that record just dissipate. So
Justin Gaethje on to whatever. You know, all the way up to the title for sure. I think.
And that being part of the news that we have for everybody.
Yeah, head right into some news. In the post-fight, DC asked him about Conor McGregor or whoever, and he said no, that he didn't want to fight a retired fighter.
Yeah.
That he wants the winner of Khabib or Ferguson, but. After thinking about it some more, he said that if Conor really came back, that he would love to fight him.
And that's a fight I think everybody would love to see. 2 natural brawlers just going at it, and knowing that at any moment Gaethje could just say, you know what, time to take you to the ground because I know you're not successful.
I mean, Conor, people always call him, having that power left hand. I'm not so sure if it's a power left hand as it is a perfectly accurate left hand that puts you to sleep. Gaethje definitely takes it in the punching power, but Conor has the more varied attack and a couple more weapons on the feet to hurt you with. But then we don't that questionable grappling game that we don't know about from Gaethje. That's a real interesting.
It is a
fight.
real interesting factor, and I love that you said that. I would have never have thought to put it that way. Is that I do think that Conor does have devastating power in his left, but it is more so on his accuracy.
Yeah.
He said it. He said it himself. Accuracy beats power. Timing beats speed.
Yeah.
And he has both of those things. He is one of the most prolific strikers the UFC has ever seen. But as we've seen, his takedown defense is not very good.
Right.
And if Gaethje were to be smart and he were to fight Conor, he would want to take it to the ground. Because here's the thing. I mean, Gaethje's gotten his face beat up.
Yeah.
I don't think he could take that much from Conor.
No, and we see the stoppage from Poirier could be the what's telling in that fight, whereas Conor stopped him pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. But we still got Poirier who's trying to put the pressure, trying to get a Conor McGregor rematch.
I'd like to see both those fights, to be honest with you. I'd like to see him fight Gaethje. If he fought Gaethje and won, I think he's got to go up against Poirier, and then maybe the loser of the Khabib-Ferguson fight, and then the title fight. I think that's the series of events that needs to happen.
I think that this Gaethje-Conor McGregor fight is fairly likely, though, because they're talking about Conor coming back by December because his hand was injured, I guess, and he's all pretty much
punching old people.
Yeah, he's pretty much healed up by now, and they had DC hyping the possibility of that fight for a good 5 minutes.
Wow.
In the post fight. So
okay.
So
I mean, I would like to see. I like watching Conor fight, and I don't necessarily care for the man anymore. He's kind of fell out of my good graces.
Right.
But as a fan of fighting,
yeah,
he is someone I would like to see come back to the octagon.
And yeah, a lot of stuff happening in that lightweight division. That's crazy. Yeah.
What else do we got?
A lot of stuff to figure out. Interesting. BJ Penn will not fight his last fight on his contract, even though he was slated to fight Nick Lentz, I believe it was.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
Coming up in, I believe, October, Dana cut that off and canceled that contract because he doesn't want to see him fight anymore. Dana's real close with BJ, and after the bar fight thing, Dana just wants him to stay home, concentrate on his life, and not to worry about coming out and possibly losing again. I mean, it's doing him no good.
There's no reason. I mean, the only reason I could see BJ Penn wanting to fight is that he needs money.
Yeah.
Work at a gym, train some fighters. You were a great fighter. You have a lot of knowledge.
Dana White is one of your close friends. Take a loan.
Yeah.
You'll be all right. It's just he doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to see his friend lose anymore, and he doesn't want to see his mind state go any worse. By taking a loss, and and I think he's done with his shenanigans a little too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see what happens with him in the future, but he definitely doesn't need to fight.
Stipe Miocic wants to have a conversation with Colby Covington.
I'd like to see that conversation.
Reports that during UFC 241, Cormier versus Miocic 2, Stipe's wife was on the way to her seats in the front row, and Colby reportedly said something inappropriate to her. Stipe's wife was accompanied by his coach, who I guess verbally put Colby in his place on the spot, but they're refusing to tell Stipe what was said to his wife, probably because of the anger it'll bring out of Miocic.
Yeah.
And Stipe saying, I don't want to make a big thing out of it. I just want to ask him what his problem is. So I'd like to see that too.
I would love to see that. I would love to see Stipe rip Colby Covington's smug head off of his corny little shoulders.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. You can't say whatever you want and think there ain't consequences.
And you should never be saying anything.
You
to
shouldn't
anybody's
disrespect
woman.
a man's wife regardless.
You shouldn't disrespect women regardless, but another man's woman, you're asking for trouble.
Right, you shouldn't be disrespecting somebody, and what would make you think it's a good idea to respect Miocic's wife? I don't know. but that's interesting. We might see, if they run into each other, we might see
an unscheduled
YouTube
match
video somewhere of Colby getting thrown into something, most likely.
Nice.
Because that's ridiculous. And he's a ridiculous man, so I wouldn't mind.
I hate him.
Henry Cejudo, another ridiculous man, says recently that the August video that he made about challenging Valentina Shevchenko was not a joke, that he is interested in being the intergender champion of the UFC.
So he's a punk who wants to hit women.
Yeah, I mean, I can't understand how, even if you are, because a lot of fans are still saying, no, it's still a joke, it's just him being him, it's his weird humor.
Yeah.
Whatever, man, your weird humor, you could take that somewhere else.
Exactly.
You're calling out women.
Yeah.
So
that's disgraceful.
I don't see how, a lot of people say, bad press is still press, but this is stupid press.
No, because that's true. But in this particular instance, you're talking about hitting a woman.
Hitting a woman.
Yeah, like you want to get into an octagon, being an Olympic wrestler, and you want to put you're gonna punch Shevchenko in the face
as hard as you can.
Yeah,
you're gonna hit the.
And if you knock her out, are you gonna feel like a champ, bro?
Right. What is gonna be the outcome? You knock her out. Everybody hates you.
Yeah.
You get knocked out.
You're the laughing stock of combat sports. In the history of combat sports, because I'm thinking that, like,
and it's possible.
What if Shevchenko throws something crazy, and hits him with a leg kick right to the face?
Let's be honest. Like the only reason that it's a bad idea is, I'm not going to argue, men versus women athleticism.
No need.
That's not for here. But to take a strike from Henry Cejudo would be a lot for Valentina Shevchenko. There is no woman in the women's division that strikes as hard as he does. So, but there are men that strike as hard as Valentina Shevchenko, and can still KO people. Her strikes are plenty hard enough to put Henry Cejudo to sleep.
And she got great leg kicks.
She has more dynamic striking than him. Her kickboxing is better than his.
Yeah.
So I don't see the purpose of even saying
it's just stupid.
Henry
Cejudo is an idiot.
He is an idiot. He's a tool, and I don't like his character.
Nope.
And I think I brought up the story just to say that I don't like you, Henry Cejudo.
You have literally become the stain on the underwear that is the UFC.
Serious. To have two championship belts and you get no press, I don't know why you wonder why. Nobody likes it. The fans don't like it.
And you thought the way to go was to say, I want to fight a girl.
Right. Even if you're a Henry Cejudo fan of his fighting ability, cool. If you're a Henry Cejudo fan as a person, I don't want to know you.
Yep. All right.
That's silly stuff.
Silly.
Tyson Fury, lineal heavyweight boxing champion this past weekend, defended his belt against Otto Wallin. I thought it was Whalen, but run-of-the-mill Tyson Fury fight. Really, he had to go up, face a big cut in this. I don't know if you watched the fight.
I didn't watch the fight, but I saw about the cut.
Pretty good damage. Wallin had some good duck and weave movement, landed some good heavy shots. Tyson Fury with that normal accuracy, that content to just use his head movement, didn't really bounce around on his feet much, but fast hands. Like, his hands are so fast for a guy that size. I'll give him that. And good unanimous decision for Fury.
Nice.
And he keeps the belt. Good upcoming fight we'll talk about more in the future, but Errol Spence Jr. fighting Sean Porter in a welterweight unification bout. It's pretty serious. September 28th, Saturday, and we'll dive into that probably next week.
All right. Well, we are running low on time, so we are going to bang out this card.
Sorry.
First fight. No, we both did it,
That was Tristan Conley.
Tristan Conley
You
took
ate up some time. We're not mad.
All right, UFC Fight Night 159, Rodriguez versus Stevens, Saturday, September 21st, 8 p.m., Mexico City Arena in Mexico City. In the men's lightweight division, Claudio Puelles?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, we'll have to see on Fight Night. Puelles, maybe?
I think double
Puelles.
Puelles.
Or Puelles.
Puelles, yeah.
Yeah, something like
8-2 going up against the 6-5 Marcos Moriano. Who do you got?
Moriano's a okay striker with no ground game.
So Claudio.
Yeah, because he's a good grappler.
I feel you.
Boom.
In the bantamweight division, this is an exciting fight. Sijara Eubanks coming off a loss, going up against the 4-3 going up against 10-4-1 Beth Kohara. I am excited for this fight, and I am a Sijara Eubanks fan, so I want.
I gotta
to
give it to her. She's more technical. I see a ground and pound stoppage. It's weird to have them so far down on the prelims. I think it's the bad luck they both run into.
Yeah, exactly. Is it weird that when I see pictures, not in real life, but pictures of Beth, I'm like, damn, why does she look cute?
Right, and then...
So I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
She be looking cute, and then she gets in the ring, and you're like...
And you're like, why'd her nose get wider?
Yeah.
It's like when they pull her hair back and take her makeup off, her nose
just
inflates.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight.
You're still cute, Beth.
Yeah, you're still cute, baby. Smile. Be sexy. Light heavyweight, Vinicius Moreira, 9-3, going up against the 11-4 Paul Craig. Both guys, I believe, are coming off of L's.
Yeah, and not really exciting overall. Both submission fighters, but Craig's a bad wrestler. Got to go with Moreira.
All right, Vinicius. In the flyweight division, another fight I'm excited for because I kind of like Sergio Pettis, 7-5, going up against 16-9-1 Alex Perez, and I will say Sergio Pettis.
Yeah, he's got a win over Benavidez in the his record, so I gotta go with him too.
All right.
I actually think that there's a fill-in for this. I think Tyson Nam steps in only on a couple weeks' notice, but
not Alex Perez.
No.
Oh.
I believe, but I still got Pettis because Nam's a boring counter striker.
I'll make sure to write that down for tomorrow.
Pettis for sure.
For next week. In the women's strawweight division, Ariana Carnelosi, 12-1, going up against the replacement, 9-7 Angela Hill. The other fighter that she was scheduled to fight got injured, and we like when fill-ins, but 12-1, that's a hard record to go against.
Yeah, I like Angela Hill. She's I think she was rushed into the UFC a little bit.
I agree.
I think she puts a lot of stuff together. But this is Carneleso's debut here, and from what I've seen, she's a tricky striker.
Really? I thought we saw her fight not too long ago.
No, I think that's what I read here.
Oh, I thought, because I remember the name Carnelesi. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's another fighter.
I'm gonna go with Angela Hill to get on the upswing here.
Oh, okay. In the featherweight division, Marco Polo Reyes going up against Kyle Nelson. Who you got?
I think this is a good fight. It's a good matchup for Marco Polo here. He's brawls, super exciting. Sad bad luck because when you brawl.
Yeah.
But Nelson's more of a ground fighter. I think Reyes catches him with something.
All right, I'm going to go with Kyle Nelson on this one. In the main event of the prelims, Jose Quinones, 7-3, going up against the 10-4-1 Carlos Hochin.
Quinones, decent ground, fundamental striking, fundamental fighter in general. Carlos lost his debut, but struck well before getting submitted. I think look for Carlos to maybe pull this out on the feet.
I agree with you. Featherweight division, Martin Bravo, 11-2, going up against the 17-9 Steven Peterson. And I liked Steven Peterson the last time I saw him, so I'm kind of gonna go his way.
Yeah, I think this could be exciting. They're both brawlers, but Bravo, he's only fought twice in the last 2 years, and he lost them both. I'm going with Peterson.
Nice. And then in the women's bantamweight division, Irene Aldana 10-5 going up against the 9-5 Vanessa Mello. And it looks like Vanessa Mello is making her UFC debut.
Yep.
But I really like Irene Aldana.
Yeah, she's not a standout. From what I've seen, she's solid. She's only had 2 weeks' notice from what I read last.
Oh, really?
Aldana, exciting, aggressive striker. I was surprised that her record is what it is now.
Yeah.
She's had some bad luck. I think I got to go with Aldana here,
Right.
because of the short notice and the experience.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Men's flyweight division. This is a fight I'm excited for.
Very much
I
so.
like Brandon Moreno, 15-5. He's from the Ultimate Fighter. In the flyweight division, when they did basically a tournament of champions to face Mighty Mouse, Brandon Moreno was a champion in the promotion he came from, and he's facing the undefeated 10-0 Askar Askarov.
Yeah, I thought his name was pretty great.
Yeah,
Askarov. They just put an OV. Yeah, but highly touted. Great ground on Askarov. Big time debut here. He's got a power right hand. Great ground game. Moreno, though, incredibly dangerous on the ground.
So dangerous on the ground.
I think we could see a crazy scrambling.
He's very
match.
explosive.
We could definitely see, how the flyweights with the scrambles. But I think the ground might cancel and we might see a striking battle here. And I think the debuting fighter here might have the upper hand there. I think he might get a stoppage here.
So you're going with Askarov?
Yeah, I am.
I got to go with my heart, and I like Brandon Moreno. I think he's an excellent fighter, a lot of heart, and I want to see him get some victories because I think he actually is coming off the loss.
Either way, this is my sleeper fight of the night.
Sleeper fight of the night. With the flyweight division, that's always a likelihood.
Always exciting.
And then in the women's strawweight division, Carla Esperanza, 14-6, going up against 11-2 Alexa Grasso. This fight looks exciting.
Absolutely. Carla Esparza looking like she can beat everybody, except for the top names.
Yeah. And she has improved her game since she first won the belt in the Ultimate Fighter.
Right. Also had losses to, Joanna Calderwood, Claudia Gadelha, and Tatiana Suarez. But like I said, all top names.
The first person to actually beat Doug Rose.
But she's going up against Grasso here, which we've seen coming off a good victory off of...
Who did she beat?
Kovalkiewicz.
Yes.
With great boxing.
Yep.
She's had a little bit of trouble making weight. She's had 4 fights in the UFC. She lost 2 of them. Won the fight against Kovalkiewicz, and her other fight she failed to make weight and had to pull out.
Oh,
so,
wow. To pull out means you must have came in significantly
and was drained, medically couldn't fight. So, we got to see more from her to see if she's, established in this weight class. But that's an exciting women's fight. Absolutely exciting co-main event.
What I like is about Carla though is she has I think she has underrated wrestling.
Yeah.
But she has had an extreme improvement on her striking ability.
I totally agree.
She got the bag beat out of her when she faced Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And Joanna Jędrzejczyk's, I believe, debut in the UFC was the title fight against Carla, and she just beat the bag out of her. And since then, she's been trying to improve her striking. And the last time I saw Carla fight, her striking looked really crisp.
Yeah, this is a good matchup. I think I'm going to go with Grasso in this. She's on the rise and has that great boxing.
And I want to split it with you and see Carla continue her resurgence in the UFC. And now to a fight that I would have never thought to put together, but seems like it could be superbly exciting.
Definitely entertaining.
Yair Rodriguez making his return after getting the bag beaten out of him by Frankie Edgar, 11-2, going up against the 12-6, the killer Jeremy Stephens. I think, to be honest with you, even though I like Yair Rodriguez, I think this is a dangerous fight for him.
Oh, definitely. I think anytime that you're a striker and then you're going up against Stevens, he's got absolute one-shot knockout power. I mean, some of the biggest highlights in the UFC's, the whole, archive. Like my favorite, the big uppercut on Rafael dos Anjos. That's the uppercut of justice.
Yes,
I love
the
that.
uppercut of justice.
But isn't on a good go of it late. Lost his last 2 fights against Jose Aldo and against Zabit. So there's, big names. But Yair coming off the big loss against
Frankie
Edgar, but then was fighting the Korean Zombie and gets the win with the crazy highlight elbow, if you remember.
Yeah.
But was really getting whipped on by the Korean Zombie in that fight and landed that elbow out of nowhere.
Probably in desperation.
Knockout is a knockout, though.
And Yair was on a tear right up until he faced Frankie Edgar.
6-fight win streak before Frankie Edgar, in all by KO too.
Yeah.
So he's a big deal. He's a dynamic striker, crazy kicks, but Jeremy Stevens with that power, good boxing. He tends to look for that one-shot power too much. Decent wrestling, but doesn't use it. I don't know. I think Yair's got more tools in this matchup, and I think he's more suited with the kicks.
Yeah.
And
man, I really thought you was gonna be with me on this one. I think that Yair Rodriguez is gonna get dropped down to the ground and pounded on, just like, because that's what you have. You just got to do it, overwhelm him like Frankie Edgar did. I don't think he's ready for that. And Jeremy Stevens can be extremely overwhelming.
After 2 fights of being overwhelmed, though, I think this kid is going to go back to being on the rise, and I think Jeremy Stevens' prime might have been a couple years ago.
Oh, I do agree with that.
So, yeah.
All right, well, let's split it up.
I think Yair takes this. But I've had bad luck with main events lately. So I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
But I think that comes, like I said, that comes down to me just picking out of love, and that's completely unbiased. I think Yair's got the bigger tool bag, barring Jeremy hitting him with something huge out of left field. I think Yair takes this.
Yeah, I would like to see Yair Rodriguez win. He was a great up-and-comer, was very exciting up until that Frankie Edgar fight, and then I felt like he got beat, and then I hadn't seen him fight forever. Like, to be honest with you, I was really trying to think about it, but I actually don't remember the Korean Zombie fight. I felt like I did, but I don't.
I remember the Korean Zombie picking him apart with grappling and then jabs and the overhand right constantly.
What was the last fight we saw with the Korean Zombie? That he was the headline.
It was a headline fight and he won.
Yeah, and Korean Zombie won, right?
Yes, he did.
I'm gonna see if I can find that one, cause that fight.
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, we got a few minutes left, so that's why I figured. I was like, I got time to look up this fight. Because no, that's Robbie Lawler and Colby Covington. This was a while ago, huh?
Yeah, I feel like he's back pretty good.
Frankie Edgar and Max Holloway. He was even before that. I might not even have him in this notebook.
I believe it was a fight night.
Oh, it was definitely a fight night because they were the headline.
Renato Moicano versus Chan Sung Jung.
Right? Yep. So wait, is that one?
Chan Sung Jung? Yeah, Renato Moicano.
Oh, you don't start at the top of your page, you just start wherever you start?
Yeah, I'm reckless.
I'm like, wait, what's going on? Why are you reading from the middle of the page? Man.
Yeah, that was fight night 154. That was the main event. I know it's weird.
It is weird. I don't like it. Don't do it anymore. Or you're fired. All right. We've done that. We got the time. So Make sure you watch this event once again. UFC Fight Night 159, Rodriguez versus Stevens, Saturday, September 21st, 8 p.m., Mexico City Arena, Mexico City. And watch the event. We'll be here next week to recap it for you. And until then, check out our YouTube channel, Gym Bag Entertainment. And until then, we'll see you in the Octagon. Have a good night.
Peace. Yeah, the recap went long, huh?
Yeah, it did. Shit.
It was good though.